Interesting. So this is going to be an interesting one. I don't even know if I'm back on. YouTube kicked me off. Huh. I think I went back on, but it initially kicked me off. That is so crazy. Um, we'll see. We'll see how many people have to see this now because it's I don't know what happened. It stopped the stream. Um, looks like it stopped the stream. Looks like it's working right now, but it might have stopped going around to people. So we'll see how many people are here. If it ends up being, a live where people just have to watch after and it just gets recorded, so be it. Like I said, when I just started, it said my stream could not connect after about 10 seconds and it resets. So we'll see what happens here. We'll see what happens here. That's not what I like to see to start because this is an urgent live, a very urgent live, and it's in the best interest for this community for it to actually push. Sada, I'm glad you got the notification. Dan, Big Dog, thanks for being in town. Already 6+ months. Juan over 1 year. Two Ravens over 2 years. Crazy Pull over a year, along with Richard Balkmer and JG over 3 months. But we've got an advancement here, guys. I don't know if anybody remembers the end of the weekend when we talked about oil, about what could happen here, and it all happened now that, and we'll see if this continues or if it breaks back down. But Iran came out and just said not too long ago that they're going to strike harder than they've ever struck before. Like they're going to attack full out. So I got a bad feeling about what's coming here, ladies and gentlemen. In the immediate short term, gold's up $100 already. As I said, forget about the miners if you can. Focus on physical assets. Not saying don't own the miners, but just if you have any ability to have physical metals, we're in a really bad spot right now. Something big is about to happen, like big. And I'm not just talking across the seas. I'm talking about on our homeland here in the States. I don't know if we're getting ready for a lockdown or what's going on, but something big is going to advance here shortly. And it's going to be quite chaotic. So the signals we're getting here on this early Sunday evening are not the best. As far as something dramatic about to happen. So let's just make the best of this. Let's look at the charts. When we do this, we'll look at the charts. We'll look at a lot of other things. I'm afraid that this isn't going to push through the way it's supposed to because it stopped working right when it started. But this is going to be awful. We're about to come down to something we've never, in our lifetime, it hasn't been like this. And I think I was going through some personal stress because my son's medical stuff. It's going to cost me over $700 a month now for his insurance starting on April 1st. So that's going to be a kick in the dick. But he's special needs, so I have to go through the marketplace. So he's got to have a top tier for what he deals with. But that's going to take a move. Anyhow, I know some of you are dealing with that as well with the healthcare costs in the USA. It's just outrageous. But I can't have them uncovered, so I'm going to give them everything I got. But anyhow, besides that, my stepdaughter, Scarlett, she's 12, and she was a little sick earlier. Threw up, so hopefully, I don't know, it's we'll see what's going on there. Julie told me to do the live. She said to just do it. But we have to talk about so much. Let's get into the intro. Oil didn't spike for no reason, folks. And we talked about how we're in a descending wedge, and that breakout target would be $101 is the projected target if this broke out. Now, yes, it could be early, and this could just be an early breakout. But where there's smoke, there's fire. And with that kind of volume coming in, something beyond, we knew coming into the weekend with how gold and silver was reacting, something bad was starting. And gold's already up $105. So if you own precious metals, you're having a good day. But what's happening in cryptocurrency is the opposite. They're using, in my opinion, cryptocurrency, XRP, Bitcoin, crypto. The whole market continues handing purchasing power from retail to the banks and institutions. I truly believe that, guys. I truly believe that's what's going on. And it's becoming ever clearer. So I used a strategic image that I've used before, but I thought it was very appropriate for today. Now, within giving purchasing power away, that doesn't mean that you can't make gains. It just means if you're the general retail viewer, like yesterday, how it went up like it did, a lot of people in retail might have bought in because of it, just to see it come down today about 10 cents or so for just XRP. Bitcoin's back under 66K, down almost 2%. And it's there's so much stuff going on. It almost makes my and I want to look at cryptocurrency too, just to see if maybe we could get some kind of movement. But we're starting to come back through that lower liquidity box. And if we don't pull ourselves up quick, it could be a problem here in the immediate short term. So let's go to the intro. Wow, thank you so much, Big Dog. Not only in Tom's only 6+ months with the XRP Predictor, giving us some very nice, well, not good news, but giving us some heads up here. 3 U.S. soldiers killed, 5 wounded in critical condition. But they're gonna lock us down. It's imminent at some point here. I don't know if we can avoid this time, ladies and gentlemen. We just prepare the best you can. We've been dodging bullets here in the States as far as being locked down for about the last year or so. But I think our time's running short of us being able to move out, right? So, but Big Dog, thank you so much. Has got to give love to Little T. 1999 super chat. Wow. After yesterday's generosity by this audience, I can't even believe that there's more generosity. Yesterday was the single best day I've ever had on YouTube in 5 years as far as support from the audience. So let's just put it this way. I received 30% more support yesterday than I've ever received in a single day in my entire 5 years on YouTube. So for that, I'm eternally blessed from all of you who have paid it forward. Like, seriously, you have no idea what that means to me. Let's get into the title and let's get into this hot and heavy. We'll go into gold and silver before we even start in Prussia, before we start with the risk asset, because now silver is getting closer to that 99. So we're going to see what happens here. Good evening. 6:46 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Sunday, March 1st, 2026. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So please be safe out there, everybody. We continue to ask for guidance from Yahweh, Yeshua, Emmanuel, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. We ask for our higher power, who we give all the glory to God, but we also ask for guidance not only for ourselves, but remember there's people in this audience, Bearded Viking with Mighty Marcus, his wife, and so many others that, don't have it straightforward. Myself, I have with my son and what we deal with, there's a lot of stuff that goes on, and, just be thankful for your situation, good or bad, and try to strive to do the best you can day by day. That's all we can do. And if we continue to show up together and show out, we can kind of keep ourselves not only in a level mindset, but trying to keep ourselves ahead of what's going on. So I appreciated the kind words with the prayer this morning. And there's a lot of kind words this morning, and it definitely touched my soul. So, everybody asks certain things, certain ways I am. Well, every Sunday I take a couple dollars and I go up to church and I light the candles for not only myself and my family, but for the community, for the loved ones that have passed. But I do a special candle for the community, and I feel like we're being guided in a way. So there's no other way to explain how we get this information from all of us, and we can unite universally. We're being watched over. I firmly believe that this community is being watched over. I'm blessed. I always have been. I've always felt it. I've been in some very serious car accidents where I should have been killed, and I don't want to say I just walked away from them, because I broke my back in one, had frontal lobe damage in another one. But I know I've been watched over, and I know this community is being watched over. We just got to make sure to understand and count our blessings, because we are so blessed in here, because we know each other. It's that simple, because we know each other. So what's building here with USDT dominance? Are we in some kind of symmetrical triangle, which we're on the push up. So this would be a bullish continuation if that's the case. It's not on a breakdown. Normally a symmetrical triangle goes with the trend, and the trend's up right now for USDT. Massive cup and handle. The only thing I was projecting earlier with the USDT, and I know we're supposed to be in precious metals, but I can't help it. Maybe we're doing something like this if it pulls this farther down, and we could be in something like this. But as of right now, it doesn't even really look like we have to come over there because we've got right here. Let's put this white. We just got to try to stay ahead of this. It's getting really, really grimy now. It's going to be a brutal week in some regards. Shit's going to hit the fan one of these days, and I just don't know which day. So let's just try to keep it unified. I'm going to come on here every single day as long as I have a signal regardless. And we'll just see what happens. I'm seeing stuff right now in the opening of like oil and things. It's not what you want to see if you're not wanting war to happen. It's not what you want to see if you don't want war to happen, because everything that's happening to start the day, this is what war looks like. Gold goes up like this, breaking out of that. We're talking, is that an ascending triangle? Because if it is, we're gonna break out so fucking far here if it is. And I'm not just talking about double tops. I'm talking like pushing out to 6K probably. Otherwise, it could have went back to the uptrend. But with this propagation of war, I'm starting to think less and less that this set up like a rising wedge, because when you started to look how the back end flattened out, I mean, I could make a very strong case that you don't even have to go way out there. And it was more like a symmetrical triangle, and it broke to the top side, which in this kind of a pattern, if you don't have enough strength, this usually breaks down most of the time. But because of the environment we're in, this is something now. This is really something we need to pay attention to, because if this doesn't double top, I really do believe this war is going to escalate like a son of a bitch. And this technical target brings us up to almost 5,700. I'm to the point now where I don't even really want to, in a sense, I'm just happy with the precious metals right now. I'm not even in a sense where I want to buy anything other than the precious metals and hold them. Yes, I want to see where risk assets go to see opportunity. But as far as what you need to have in your hand, if this propagates, you're going to feel much better if you have some precious metals. You really are. Now, is it $64 like when it dived down? No, it's not. Now it's back up to 94. So that's a almost 50% move already back up. XRP, just so we can touch base before we get into silver. We're still holding this liquidity box on the support side, which is a good thing. That's a good thing. I don't like where the 4-hourly's at. However, if this keeps pulling back up, which we've only got 3 minutes, and it just fucked us just now again. Never mind. But in the next, I'm at 8 minutes. In the next 8 minutes, if we could have pulled up to like $1.37 and made somewhat of a hammer candle, this is just brutal right now. Now we went back to a new low, and we've rejected so far within this box, which means now it's going to continue dragging us down. And then if we have to come back and test, we just hypothetically said maybe we're in this wider pattern. Well, now this is getting even tighter. If we break down from here, it's going to be a big nightmare. And I don't know. A lot of people are pushing it around social media that war is always good for crypto. Do I live on bozo land? Am I in bizarro world? I know sometimes that's the case, but war is good for risk assets. What are we smoking? No, war is good for precious metals, oil, especially when it's in the Middle East. I never heard anybody before this week say war is good for risk assets. I'm almost like, what is going on? Like, well, what's going on? What's going on lately? Have people... Because think about it. If you're in war, are you going to go risk? Or are you going to go risk off? Just be honest with you. Like, be honest with me. So maybe there will be an opportunity because of what's happening. Let me open this window. I need to get some air. Oh, hey, Ghost. You're going to get lucky, Ghost, because I need to get some air. There you go, buddy. Yeah, there you go. But in a time like this, it's... If XRP goes 86 cents, where do I think I don't know about DGB. I'm not paying attention to that anymore. So I couldn't give you a true answer. It's probably going to flip another 0, if I'm being honest. VeChain, If XRP went down there, it's coming down to this downtrending. Oh, fuck. I had a downtrending line there to follow. But there's this descending wedge, so probably down to 002. 002. So that's going to be somewhat of a 66% drop there if that happens. And that's an all-time descending wedge here. So not an all-time, but on this breakdown. So this is speaking some facts. 1 hit, 2 hits. Let's move this up just a little bit. Oh, it has that like that. No wonder it did that. I didn't know it said it like that. That's stupid. But yeah, V-chain, you don't even have to guess. If I'm being honest with you, you don't have to guess at all. Let's see. Let me move this down because I still need to get into silver real quick. 00167 on V-chain. What do you want, Ghost? Are you going to get down? Here, you want to go out? What are you doing? Gotta let go of this. Ghost, I got you. Let go. Let go. Here you go, kitty. The cat had the grip, like, it gripped onto the side of this little thing, and I don't know what was going on. Lewis, thank you so much for being in town during 6+ months with the XRP Predictor, along with Mr. and Mrs. Stott. Maple Man, thank you so much as well. And Lewis, thanks for the $10 super chat. Greatly appreciate that, my friend. Greatly appreciate that. So yeah, 00167 if this falls out. That's where it's trying to target. That would be the 3rd hit on this descending wedge. And we've already had plenty of hits of resistance. So, and we're still dumping out from the head and shoulders pattern. And it's not completed yet. So if this completes, it would be more than likely a complete reset. You have that 009 if you want to come even lower. But I don't advise coming much lower than where we're at. You know, like if we wanted to try to break up and invalidate this drop, you have 009. But I don't advise it coming much lower than 00167. Otherwise, we could find ourselves in a real stampede on the way down. See, we're getting to the levels now where if we break these support structures down, it could be volatile. Now, I want to see how it reacts tomorrow into this late evening, which if Iran's really going to do what it said, and I don't know if anybody's seen the news with Iran. So Iran, it just came out. Oh, okay. Yeah, is it because of me? But Iran literally just came out. Trump says there will likely be more U.S. deaths. He just came out and said Iran promises hard-hitting retaliation. I don't know the exact words they use, but they literally just... but Iran targeted, that was yesterday, but they literally just came out. I wish that I could find the part that just came through. Of course, it wouldn't just pop up. I know Iran vowed, but literally 5 minutes ago or 10 minutes before this started, they came out again and said, we're going to hit harder than we've ever hit before. Obviously, this is a mutual thing that's going on. I think all governments are involved here collaborating. The crypto market, if you can see, we were at 14. We're going to update in 2 minutes. Something tells me, I don't know how it's going to settle here in 2 minutes. I really don't. It could settle down a little bit lower now. But what do you guys think? Before we go farther, and I don't want this to turn into, oh, we're negative, we're over, it's done, it's screwed, because that's not the case. Because one side of our deal, we have precious metals as a community, so that side's good. Really good, actually. I mean, real good. I'm feeling pretty good about being up $110 on gold and $2 on silver. But yeah, crypto, crude, silver's up. Did you see oil? Oil's up 7% right now. It was up almost 9%. And it's breaking out of that descending wedge, and the technical target is like $110 a barrel if that plays out. So we very well might have missed the boat on some of this stuff. But you can only do so much. You can only do so much. So with silver at $95.80, we broke past that big resistance box. We're at the top now of the liquidity hub. If you get above that, very volatile to the top side. Next step, it wouldn't even blink. It would go boom right to 99. Wouldn't even blink. It would literally go from 96 to 99, and more than likely, we still need to see if some wider head and shoulders is playing out. But guess what, guys? In the propagation of war, it doesn't really matter even what the setup looks like. Remember what happened with oil when it looks like it was going to break down, and then because of what happened in Venezuela, how quick oil bounced back, and now with the continued conflict in the Middle East, what's happening now? This is exactly what would happen with gold and silver. Now, the only way that they can kind of negate this is to kind of hit some of the actual stocks you buy, but even that can't happen right away. Those are going to soar with what happens, at least on Monday morning if this continues. So, you know, if you're looking for some kind of pullback here, you might not get that for some time. Then, I mean, we even came down here, bounced down, and then created that if it's a right shoulder. And like I've said, it can't come past like right here. But I don't know. That's a very wide setup here, and it put an inverse pattern in there. So I don't know if it's going to be able to do this or not. I don't know if it's going to be able to just put in a right shoulder. Maybe, but it's not looking that way to me right now. It just, well, I mean, it's not looking that way until it invalidates it. But unless something comes out in the next few hours where they're like, oh, well, we were just stopping what we're doing now. Now I want to see at 7 o'clock what happened here with the Crypto Fear and Greed Index, because it's going to flip right now. Back down to 10. So it's back to 10. Last week, we know we hit all-time lows for a second time at 5. So, yeah, that's back down. I forgot earlier, too, to look at the liquidation map. There's just so much stuff going on. But I want to do that now. Let's look at the liquidation map. See what's going on here. I know we have some underneath around $1.26. I know we have some in the $1.40 range, but I want to see beyond that. Oh, we took all of that out now. Okay. We took out that entire little area. Now we have pockets. I mean, it's not huge pockets, but we do have some pockets up here. What's going on in the... This might be where we have to look at like the 72-hour now to see what ended up developing. Oh, yeah. Okay, that makes more sense. Because you have a shoulder still. And we still have a lot of work to do to invalidate this. A lot of work. I accidentally clicked off of my live, and to see all these schlubs that are... Nah, I don't even want to go down there. Let's not be a dick. But all these people that are pushing false information right now, I read through 4 different XRP influencers. They couldn't be lying worse to you. Like, come on now. Really? Is that how desperate people are to make some easy money? Just to lie to the entire community that they so much love? I mean, that was a good pickup right there. Especially if silver starts to run unabated here. But it's kind of sad, actually, to see how many people are willing to just leech off of our community. Actually, it's become a bit of a pain in the ass, to be honest with you. And I'm not going to talk negatively about anybody, but it's you want to go to hell and find an easy ticket straight to hell. You steal from your fellow man and woman who doesn't know any better. You know you're not supposed to take advantage of the ignorant or the ones with less knowledge, or the ones who are easily emotionally manipulated. You're not supposed to take advantage of those people. In fact, you're supposed to take care of those people and look out for those people. So those people are going to have a cold day in hell one day. It's one of the ultimate sins, is to steal from the unwitting. Take from somebody who doesn't know any better. Lead somebody to their own demise by using their emotional front. You know, and it's a shame to see, because we could really do a lot of good in these spaces, but, you know, it is what it is. Everybody's in it for themselves, it seems. Not everybody, but the strong majority is just in it for themselves. $1.26, we've got a lot of $1.26, $1.27. There's some stuff below if it wants to come down, but we do have an area at $1.44, $1.56, and things like that. So that's where we're sitting right now for XRP. The monthly we took out below us at the $1.25 level, roughly $1.26. Had a strong little liquidity box. There's not huge liquidity boxes over the top right now or below. They're pretty damn even. As you know, when I looked at the 72 hour, there's about 55 million below us too in some of those categories. Let's look at Bitcoin real quick. Let's look at Bitcoin. Said that 71,000 area we talked about earlier. That's some liquidity there. Look at that candle, though. That candle is fucking brutal. I know it's green, but damn. And we're on the start of a new month. We closed the candle. It's the other thing we need to look at. We closed the monthly candle now for XRP, and let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at this guy. Let me go to the other one where it's not so crowded. That would look good. We got to invalidate this in a hurry. We got to get above this $1.56. I mean, in a couple of days. Otherwise, we're going to come right back down. If that's an engulfing candle in the monthly, like it's not completely engulfed to the downside, but big wick on the bottom. This entire candle body is pushed down almost 3/4 of the way. It hasn't broke past the mid-tier point when it started. That's about as bad as it can be without starting out as a new low. Like this could be bad. Now how do we avoid this? How do we avoid it? We do exactly what I keep saying. In a hurry, we've got to come back above that $1.57 descending triangle. It's not just the triangle part of this that, you know, is set up. There's more than just that, but in any other chart that I look at, you can still see the same stuff happening. You know, we're painfully below areas. We're falling within this little lower support, which it just continues. So even when you look at the pairings, they're not looking great. XRP's below distribution again. And once you get below that box, that's, to me, that distribution box that I set up, once you get below that and can't break back, that's when you can start going back for the fourth time into supply. You know, we haven't been back into supply since the third supply zone. I myself describe supply zones. Since October of 24, roughly. October, November of 24 was the last time we visited that supply box. Over a year and a half now. Craziness. The next time we visit it, it comes sub $1 again. I mean, you're talking about that 86 on the button. That box extends all the way down to that almost 30-cent range once you get in there. Slightly elevated from the last time. But we've completely, now this fourth wave, if you wanted to do an all-time, it's going to completely invalidate that thesis if we come down any farther. Like literally, we're on the button here. The market is on the button. The daily looks like shit. Again, yesterday's daily looked brutal. Ooh, that don't look good at all. Daily's at the mid-tier point, but it's showing no positivity here. Let's see. And if I talk some people out and they leave, I mean, there's nothing we can do about it. We have to be honest. Even if we want to try to keep an audience, I mean, the best way to do that is to try to be honest and try to capture 1 or 2 new people every time I come on. Yesterday, I think we had 6 new subscribers, so at least we got a few new subscribers to the channel. And then maybe they'll become long-standing members that can help guide some others in this community. See, that's the ultimate goal, is to continue to build more people in here. Is it going up or down tomorrow? I mean, the way it looks right now, we're stuck within this. I would say down. But I don't know what's going to happen, you know, with this next. It's all about right now in these next 2 candles. Because there's so much scared in the air, I would still say there's the possibility we could start up. But we got work to do. If we fall below that little purple box or pink box, then it's a problem. But right now we're still on the top side. We're still on the top side. So if you want to draw any hope from this, we haven't fallen through. Futures market came back online, but it started on a new low. 4 hourly is extremely oversold. Daily time frame is extremely overbought and breaking bearish, and that's a horrible looking candle. That's horrible right now. This was the push up. Confirmation 1, confirmation 2, third candle for a 3-stick candlestick reversal in the daily. Fourth candle probably shoots you down. So unless we get something crazy, we have a 3 candlestick reversal that confirms in all 3 that this looks like hell. So we need something out of the ordinary to happen right now. And out of the ordinary, I mean some kind of volume, something, because with what's going on, if we just slide a little bit, you could fall into capitulation. However, because there's a lot of fear in the air, if it pushes up past a certain level, maybe we could fall into something here. But are you willing to bet your life savings on it? Are you willing to bet some money on the fact that the risk asset's going to stop to outperform oil and outperform gold, outperform silver, unless these are fake outs to the top side, which happens sometimes on Sunday, believe it. Sometimes on Sunday, gold, silver will just go chaotic with platinum, and then all of a sudden by 1, 2 a.m., it's come all the way back down, and it was just the last shot out. Now, are you willing to bet that's what's happening? Are we thinking maybe we are, in fact, on a right shoulder here, like we've been seeing, unless it comes past 99? Is this going to end up being a resistance at 94 and it just got a quick shot over because of what's going on with the war or the illusion or whatever's going on? And here's another scary thing. How much of what you see now is AI and how much of what you see is real war? And how much in the past, because we know the World Trade Center, what they put on TV back in 2001 was AI. And I don't want to talk that topic because some people are going to get pissed, but no plane ever hit the building. It is what it is. Isn't it convenient how something hit the building and then all of a sudden the passport was just sitting on the ground of the supposed terrorist? Oh, yeah, because that didn't burn up, but it burned that whole damn building down. But that passport was perfectly placed in the middle of all, not even in rubbish. So I start to think, how much stuff have we seen that is AI? So how much of the stuff do you think we're getting with some of these reports or what happens? How much of our own government shows us AI so we can't see what's going on across the world? That's a scary thing to think about right now. But we still have, remember yesterday, and just because I don't have a hat on doesn't mean that it can't go up. It just means that I'm not wearing a hat. That's all. But we still have this inverse pattern. We're still on top of here. We still have the ability to break out of this resistance. And if we can, we could still be on an E wave, I don't want to call it extraction, but an expansion wave. So the other alternative here is that we're starting our second wave possibly to the downside if this doesn't invalidate. But I could still see an invalidation here. Sometimes when you get a lot of noise and everybody thinks it's going to do one thing, it does the other. So I'm sure a lot of people are short in this market right now. I'm sure of it. So what you'd want to see if we're going to get some kind of push out here is you would want to see gold and silver start to reverse back a little bit so that some of the money would flow in from there. But that doesn't really seem to be the case right now. Money doesn't seem to be flowing away from it. It seems to be piling into it. So that's definitely that's something that I would pay attention to if you're just watching this market as a whole. I know we're up right now since the close. But let's face it. We're just up because we dropped down from yesterday. Yesterday, we got up to $1.43. Sure, we're up 0.5% with XRP, but we're still down 8 cents right now from yesterday. It seemed like clockwork today. Early AM, Ripple dumps from escrow. They get a majestic 17-cent rally just before almost, what a miracle. 17-cent rise by XRP from that $1.26 level to $1.43 just in the nick of time for them to sell off that billion tokens. And then you wouldn't believe it. When they had to relock up 700 million tokens, by some miracle, it dropped 7 or 8 cents on the button and they got to relock it back up. So, I don't know what you want to read into that or if you're starting to get a little uneasy with all of that. But there's definitely a lot of manipulation going on here. And think about it. They're taking the money from crypto, retail, and they're handing it over. Some of it we voluntarily hand over because we become exit liquidity. We can't understand when to buy at the proper times. We take out leverage and we give it over to the exchanges, the institutions, the banks, the bigger players. But crypto is already doing a phenomenal job at taking purchasing power from retail and redistributing it to banks and institutions. via ETFs, via other ways, but they're doing a majestic job of taking it away from us. A really majestic job. So that's why I always say we've got to find a way to stay ahead of this. And it's getting harder and harder by the day. But we just kind of got to stay with this until this breaks down. We still can look at this in a different way. Now, whether I don't know how much faith anybody has of it going up right now, but always expect the unexpected, especially in a risk asset. So we'll see. Let's see if we can invalidate and try to run out with this inverse. It's a little bit low right now, but if it come back up because we have a shoulder, head, shoulder possibly forming right here. Also could be a bear flag as well. So we just have to, or a pennant flag, a bearish pennant. Because that's a symmetrical setup right there. So we just have to make sure here. We just have to make sure that that doesn't end up going farther down. It's nice though that we're over the flip of the clock right now. And we can see what's happening now that the weekly candle is closed. The weekly candle closed pretty bad. I mean, the monthly candle didn't close great. It's not exactly what I wanted to see. Could it have been worse? Of course, it could always be worse. It could always be worse. The weekly candle closed like this. So not the best, but I mean, it could have been worse. It could have opened way down here again. The monthly, pretty much the same positioning. That didn't pull up far enough to be a hammer candle. That just looks like we ran out of steam on the buyback. So, man, amazing. 17% of the audience left. That's incredible. But again, the core members are what matters. So the ones who left, let's not judge too harshly. They know not what they're missing. But I could have made them nervous. Obviously, I could have made people nervous. There's no doubt about that. And that's not my intention. You know, my intention is to try to keep us informed, but sometimes by trying to keep us informed, you know, I can make people nervous, and I get that. And I apologize, but I don't apologize for it. Hopefully we'll see some of those people come back later as things start to unravel or as things start to appreciate. And they'll come back for some charting and try to give us some knowledge that maybe they've gained on the outside. But I definitely wouldn't be leaving today. There's no damn way in hell I'd be leaving right now if somebody was going to give me this kind of information on the charts. And overall, you couldn't pay me enough to walk out of this right now. But everybody seems to be, so not everybody, but the non-core members don't seem to be liking this evening, which it is what it is. Never trust a Sunday pump, shell reverse. We'll just liquidate a bunch of high leverage shorts first. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. That is fair, but wasn't the planes that brought them? Oh, I forgot I said that. No wonder people are leaving. I believe maybe both, but planes did hit the building. I'm in New York and friends saw it personally. I mean, we to each their own. But there might have been a plane that hit a part of it, but the plane didn't bring it down. It's impossible. It doesn't work that way. But I shouldn't even have brought that up. Shouldn't even have brought that up because obviously I ruffled some feathers with that. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Frankie says I was a few miles west of the attack when it happened, but inside a building working on a job. Oh, I'm glad that you're safe at least, that you made it through that. Give Janine, if you're watching, I give you my love, you and Frankie Fresh. Or Clam Belly's in here. But I mean, the fact that we're 25 years later and most people are still oblivious to what actually happens, it kind of sucks. Not saying that there wasn't some things that happened. I would almost believe more it was a drone plane that flew into it than anything else. Knowing what I know now about drones and how big they actually are, some of them. But, you know, it is what it is. Big Dog, thanks for the 99-cent super chat and also being in towns under 6+ months. I'm not going to talk about that because I don't want people just to leave because of talking about that kind of stuff. Yeah, I know, Juan. Sometimes the truth hurts indeed. Tom, I appreciate your honesty. I don't need hopium. I do believe that XRP will get maybe $10 a coin, but I don't need this hopium BS. Yeah, I get that. Well, yeah, the Pentagon, we don't even have to debate. That one was clear as day. They said the plane disintegrated. I don't know the last time yeah. But it's just ask yourself too in New York, why were they so quick to get rid of all the rubble? No, Frankie Fresh, you don't need to shut up. Honestly, I don't mind. I don't mind talking an open discussion. I don't want to offend too many people is all. Uh, but I love the hot dog. I didn't even realize Big Dog sent a hot dog with that. That's so funny. I didn't even realize that. No, Frankie, you have nothing to apologize for, my friend. You know, sometimes we got to be open and honest with each other and just try to give our opinions. Like, I wasn't in New York at the time and you were, so you can give us a little bit of an overview as well. But anyhow, let's focus on the here and now. We're dealing with our own war right now. Um, it's a war on the people, really. But right now, I mean, we're staying above this liquidity box at least. So if you want to draw any kind of hope, we still have what looks like a little bit of an inversion here. We're still above here. But like I said, we're going to have to do this very quickly if we want to make the push up. Um, yeah, James, I understand that too. I studied all of that long ago, not to your extent. But James says they know all that we do. Stone brought that out, and I work in welding pipe and structural steel. And planes didn't bring anything down. I promise you. I agree with that because it didn't get hot enough. They built it for a plane hitting it. That's the ironic thing about the world, the trade centers. They built it for a plane to fly into it and not bring it down. So, but I don't want to talk too much about this because I know I'll get my content taken down. They don't really like the truth so much on YouTube when it comes to that kind of stuff. But I'll let you guys talk about it and I'll read it in the comments. Tom, do you think XRP will increase tonight or decrease? I'm wondering whether to buy now and see if it raises a few. I'm not a financial advisor, so if you're going to do something like that, I would definitely make that decision yourself. And the only reason I say that is even if it does come up tonight, what's the end game here? Yes, a lot of things are oversold here in a big way. But again, are you willing to take a shot with what could escalate here today? Iran's promised. They've all out promised now, and they've put it in our media. So they're getting us ready for something. But Iran just said about 45 minutes ago or so now that they're going to strike harder than they've ever struck before, and it's going to be something because supposedly their leaders got killed from the attack. And we know the USA's on the ground in Iran. So, and now the USA came out and said that, 3 soldiers were killed amongst a few others that were injured. Trump came out now and said, that he's expecting more USA lost, like US soldier lives to be lost. So they're getting us ready. They're getting us ready. Now, what could happen is they could play this to lock down this country because they're going to say that there's terrorist cells in the USA. They're going to say it's much too dangerous. We've got to make sure the streets are clear so that our forces can do what they need to do. And that's, I think, what's going to happen. That could be the way they lock us down this time. It's been going on for a while. They've been building this. You got to have people inside when they do this whole digital flip too, because they're building all of these towers now. I don't know about any of you who understand with the quantum computing and they're making mining towers for cryptocurrency. And they're trying to put it in all these different areas that are kind of out, that is out in the cities now. So they're basically making these huge mining rigs in these data centers for AI. These data centers are so bad for our areas. So I think they want to keep us inside while they're putting these data centers up. I really do. I'm starting to believe that. Because remember with the blah, 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 they kept us inside so they could put those 5G towers in without us seeing it. And the in-depth nature of what they were actually doing. That was the devil's advocate of us being locked away last time. So, not a lot of people understand that's why they locked us down last time with the variant. But they had to put in these new 5G towers and they didn't want us to see it. So this time I fear that it's going to be because they don't want us to see all these data centers. They keep talking about water shortages. Well, it uses so many gallons of water, millions of gallons, to just try to keep them cool enough to run. But that water goes back into the agriculture. And when it's in agriculture, it comes right back to us. So I don't know. We're living in a crazy freaking time. And they're really draining retail. They're like not even just in crypto, just everyday expenses. Like I said, I seen my son's medical stuff, what it's going to cost in April, over $700 a month for his medical insurance. Because I have to do it through the marketplace and I have to have certain insurance because of his G tube and other things that has to be met. It's going to be craziness. That's going to be a crazy bill to have to pay every single month. I'm not even, that's April 1st. I'm like looking at it, I'm like, wow. And it might be more. I haven't even got the final number, but it's at least that much. But yeah, the water is extremely toxic. So, I mean, I think everybody's dealing with that with medical, unless you're getting it through work. I don't have it through work. I don't even have medical insurance. I have to put it in for my son. So I've already said I'll sacrifice my own. But I try to keep myself in good shape and everything and eat pretty clean too, just for the ladder support. Let's see, XRP versus Big. So please, guys, just try to protect yourselves because things are going down a chaotic area, a very chaotic area. GA Storm says Christ is coming. Yahweh is coming soon. XRP versus Bitcoin is starting to break down a little bit too. That 4 hourly is a bearish candle before. Now we need if we get a 3 candlestick confirmation from here, we had one, couple more, tried to push up. This could have been the 4th candlestick that confirmed the start of it. So we'll see how this plays out. If this starts breaking down, is that going to be because Bitcoin's outrunning the rest of the market and it starts to pump? Or are we dropping? That's the variable we never know. Yeah, the sounds coming out of the data centers are craziness. Oh, it's craziness, Mr. Stott. And the frequency it pushes out and what it does to your, I encourage everybody to look up some people that are trying to fight this, where they've put the data centers in their communities and go look at some of the issues they're having. And after a while, it just drives you nuts. It drives you nuts. You get this constant buzzing and toning and this frequency that comes out. It's it's a brutal. Yeah, knick-knack. Oil is going way up right now. I mean, it's consolidated a little bit. It was up almost, 8.5% when it first opened. But still, it's breaking out of this descending wedge. And like the only thing that was interesting is that volume. It's good. But I was expecting to see a bigger candle, like maybe a twice as big as it was. Because that's not an overly impressive candle just yet. It really isn't. And if we come down much farther, this could end up. Well, let's just see what happens. Let's just see what happens here. I don't want to say anything before something happens. But I'm looking at the same thing across gold, silver, because I want to see if this is really something or if this is just the built up aggression that sometimes happens when a lot of fear and panic sets in. Remember that this level we're at right now for silver is actually the make it or break it point. We came up and did not get above that resistance, which because I was on my phone looking at this, it set it up a little different, but it came right up to the resistance and fell right back in. So, there's some stuff going on here. Yes, it can, Mr. Stott. And when they tune it up like that, it can melt your insides. Your intestines will just melt into liquid. It's not a very nice way to go if they do it to us. It's actually a very painful death. I'm hoping we don't have to go down that category, but I'm sure some of you can tell sometimes your skin, like you'll create rashes or you'll create what looks like a chemical burn or something on your body. And I'm pretty sure everybody in here has gone through some of that. I can almost guarantee it, especially if you live in the States. Be like, wow, what's going on with my skin? Yeah, 2019 was bad during the Super Bowl. It was bad. And then the other thing is the radiation that comes from all this stuff. I encourage you guys to take iodine drops. 3 drops a day under the tongue, but it has to be pure iodine. Just take 3 drops every single day. What it ends up doing is if you get radiation, it ends up eating the radiation so it doesn't get toxic in your body. It absorbs it instead of going into your bloodstream so deeply. That's why back with Fukushima and some of those other ones, they'd be handing out and telling you to drink a bottle of iodine at a time. because they wanted you to try to keep your body from absorbing all the radiation. So they tell you to drink a whole bottle of it. So iodine in your salt, that's great, but you need iodine drops. It's not apples to apples. The iodine in your salt is good, but they taint the iodine in the salt now. It's tainted, a lot of it. A lot of it, they take the iodine, the actual. So basically, it's a chemical compound that they've made of iodine and a lot of salts. If you look at the molecular structure, I know now I sound like a scientist, but when you look at the molecular structure, a lot of things are actually just a chemical compound of the herb or the vitamin or whatever we want to take. So we got to be very careful. Just like when you get a prescription drug, that's just they take the chemical compound or the molecular structure, the actual structure of like a plant or the herb itself, and they make a chemical compound from it. But obviously, it's 10 times worse for you because it's a chemical. But yeah, the iodine in the salt is good. At least you get some. Yeah, definitely killing us softly. They gotta kill us slowly because then they can make bank off of us. We should have live health talk and herbal info. I would have to do it on a different station though, because they would probably after a while this bit like I'm already on the I got to get off of this subject because I'm already teetering the toes in an area I probably shouldn't. Um, but if I did that, it would have to be on a different station. I just have so much time I'm dedicating to this because I believe in what we're doing here. Pepcot, yeah, yeah. Time travel is real. This is the Matrix, and I believe it's in the guidelines and stuff. 2028 is when they can tell the public. So that's gonna be an what? We've already been on for 51, 52 minutes. Oh my goodness. I don't understand how these lives go so fast now. It's almost unless time is just speeding up on us. Potato chips and soda going up, up, up. Watch as war persists. Oh, good thing I don't really eat any of that. Well, I don't drink pop, and I don't even eat chips anymore at all. So, but my son, who has a G tube, basically only eats crunchy. So, you enjoy every minute set apart. I appreciate that. I love seeing all the comments in here. Yes, sir. I would also suggest the most natural mineral vitamins supplement. The most natural mineral vitamins. Which one would you suggest, Andrew? And thanks for being in Town Zone for 2 months with the Dust Autos Crypto News. I know. Baby Lucid. I agree with that. With CERN. It's unbelievable. But God is good. Exercise burns like hell. It sure does. Nobody said fitness is easy. I love your Facebook page on your family's maple syrup biz and oh, Dennis, I need to follow your page with the maple syrup. Can you? I am awful with social media and checking messages, so I don't know if you've messaged back. Can we? And Mrs. Stott on his family's page, can you buy maple syrup from him? I'm assuming so. Do they ship it across? Celtic sea salt's a good one. Yeah, that's exactly what I use. Actually, believe it or not. There's other kinds of salt too, but I like the Celtic sea salt. That's actually what I use with my meal tonight. Hemp is really good for radiation. That's actually a pretty good comment right there. It's a great comment. It's a great comment, actually. Another reason they want to outlaw hemp or wanted to. XRP up over $1.36 now, seemingly starting to reverse up here. We got a little bit of a shot here. You just want to make sure it's made with nascent iodine. So you want it to say NASCENT on it, nascent. There's a lot of other imitators, but unless it says nascent iodine and it doesn't have a shitload of ingredients, you want pure nascent iodine. So you want it to say NASCENT. There's other imitators that I'm not even going to say, but that's what you want. I've went through so many of them where it wasn't that. Stay away from the fried because they lied. So do you guys think that we can get a little bit of a bounce here in the uncertain moment? Because technically for risk, at the moment that some of these conflicts happen, because there's a knee-jerk reaction a lot of times, you do sometimes get an initial surge in risk. But I don't know how far it's going to go. I can't sell from my Facebook page, Tom. Far too many hassles to import to USA. Yeah, no, I understand that, Maple Man. That's completely understandable. That's completely understandable that it would be impossible to send it to the USA. I was just asking. I would love to support my fellow members in the audience. If there's ever anything that I use that I can buy. Hell, if there's anybody who does honey and other things, I would definitely buy it from you guys. I wouldn't ask you just to sell me it or send me it. I mean, unless you really wanted to. But I would definitely support your ventures. You just got to let me know. Look at what happened to Russia and Ukraine to get a range. I mean, it's craziness. It's actually craziness. Baja Salt says, Stouffer dude, excellent comment. Let's see. I should go grab my iodine just so you guys can see what I buy. It's actually available on Amazon, but it's a particular one that I like. How low can Linnea go? I don't know. Let's take a look. $1.99 super chat. Thank you, my friend. Thank you so much. I haven't looked at Linnea in a while because once they started to do those token unlocks, we said we kind of got to get away from it for a minute. Wow, that's fucking brutal. That 4-hourly is way up there still. That's crazy. Oh, nice V shape back up, back testing the handle. I mean, back testing the right shoulder. If one wants to build it, let's see how far it can go. But Linnea was just being tested, and a lot of things that Swift came out with after it almost made it look like they were trying to make it obsolete. Like they tested it, but then they come out and say that they've been testing other ones along with it, so it wasn't as cut and dry as it seemed in the beginning. And then right when you started to get a little confidence in it, then all of a sudden Linnea came out and said they're going to start releasing 2 billion tokens every month, which is insanity. We're mad at XRP for $1 billion a month. This is $2 billion. And we don't even know what they're doing with them. Possible descending wedge that formed here on the backside. So if it can bounce out of here, it'll come back up probably to the 200-day. If it breaks down, that is a massive, 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 massive downward tug. And if this doesn't, and we've got a little bit of support that built across, but again, it's almost like right now, how much are you willing to bet? Are you willing to gamble on risk assets right now? Because it's going to be a true gamble at this point. No matter what you were to buy on a risk, it's going to be a true gamble. And unfortunately, in the environment we're in, you can't change that right now. Risk asset is going to be a true gamble right now. I almost want to go like this to build the entirety of this. I think this would make a little sense. Kind of like this. No, I can't do that. Can't do that. We got to honor it how it is right here. Because it's got two separate areas, but we can't do that. We have to honor what's shown here. We just have to. Otherwise, it's going to invalidate the structure. So, yeah, it's either it's breaking out here and it's going to start making a return run up to the 200-day, or it's going to break this completely down and all of a sudden we're going to retest these lower areas where we've already been at 002. And if it falls out of here, I mean, you could start flipping zeros like a nut job. We could start crazily flipping zeros. You're a nascent iodine. Let me go grab it real quick, man, and it's gone. And the reason I like this one is because there's glycerin that has to be used for the binding agent for nascent in most cases, and this is a kosher one, so that's the only ingredient besides the water part of it. So it's the nascent iodine. It is. I didn't bring my phone in here. This one is shit. I don't have my phone, and it's pretty dark on this side of the room. Let's see. Let me turn this flashlight on. Let me put it on this tablet real quick. How's the flashlight on this thing? What? This thing don't have a flashlight? It's gotta have one. Here, I'll just do it on my tablet then. I'll be darned. Here, let me turn on my flashlight real quick. This is Ultra 6 Nutrition. It's Ultra 6 is what the company. Ultra 6 Nutrition. It looks like this. I know it's backwards, but... And it's a nascent iodine. Shit, it's impossible to see. Here, let me put the front camera on real quick so you can see it. Where the hell's my camera? Oh. Looks like this. Nascent 6. Or Ultra 6 is the company. And then if you look at the back, you can even see it. So blurry. But yeah, that's what it looks like. So if you get it off of, you can get it on Amazon. You can get it a couple other places, but I found it nice to get it on Amazon too. Get it quick sometimes. But yeah, it's Ultra 6. I know it's so hard to see, but that says Ultra 6. Ultra 6 Nutrition. You're welcome, guys. You are welcome. Glad I could help. Glad I could help. So yeah, we got it's pretty tricky. Pretty tricky, man. Ladies and gentlemen. DXY's up 1/3 of 1%. We've got, let's see, oil still right around 7%. Silver's up about $1.33. Gold's up over $90 an ounce though, so this don't look like it's just a little shakeout to start, but we'll see in a couple of hours because it's only been a couple hours, like an hour and 41 minutes since it came online. Ethereum had such a big drop down from where it had that fake out that it fell back within the lower bearish pennant. The crazy thing is, though, on these push-ups here, it created a wider bearish pennant. And if this doesn't invalidate, I mean, we got a big, big area. We still need a third tap up here, though, if it's going to consolidate up here. We've already got 3 hits on this uptrend, technically, although if you want to look at it like this, we technically don't. If you want to just come to wick, if we want to be honest. So, still a lot to be developed here. As much as I want to stay on for a bunch of time longer here, I really can't because Scarlett, had threw up and I want to make sure I'm present just in case something happens. My face was gone. Yeah, because I put on the camera and I forgot that it disappeared. Eating dairy, seafood, and eggs for natural iodine. Then I bet all 3 of those those check the box. Those check the box. You definitely done your research. Eggs are a really strong component with iodine. A lot of seafood does have natural iodine, but we also got to balance it because there's a lot of mercury in our fish too. So the iodine, if you take a few drops, it will help balance that a little bit. But a lot of people do get mercury poison with too much seafood in the States, depending on where you get it from. The colder the water, the better. Yeah, we'll just have to see how this develops here. This 2-hour candle, we'll see if there's anything to come of this. We had a couple of possible reversal signals here, but we need to garner some kind of attention here. I must be desperate to take pills or injection. I don't take pills. All my stuff are drops that I take. And yeah, I don't take none of that crap. I don't take any of the blah blah blahs unless my parents forced me when I was too young to make my own decision. I've never done it in my adult life. Um yeah, I couldn't get that desperate either. Yeah, that's a fair point. It's a fair point. I guess the last thing, Bitcoin. Just keep watching Bitcoin. We're up over the top. Remember, we came outside of what looked like a descending wedge. And if we can invalidate this head and shoulders, the technical target would get you up to about 71K. Get you right up to about 71K if this can be invalidated. Because it's just a small shoulder, head, shoulder possibly here. To invalidate this, we just got to come up over this right shoulder at almost 67,260 and then take out the head formation. I'll have to look at the ingredient list on my chicken food again. Yeah, where I live in Michigan, I have to pay an arm and a leg to get good chicken because I won't touch anything that's not a certain way because yeah, when you start looking at some of the stuff, it'll make your head jump out. Yeah, fermented foods are great for you. I love this audience so much. We talk about so much cool stuff in here that goes unnoticed, I think, by some. No, it's supposed to be down here, the drawdown. Not ruined it. But yeah, see, we can teach each other in here. We can teach each other knowledge, even outside of the charts. But Bitcoin is still on the top side of this. So to think there can't be a rally here, remember what we talked about yesterday? Yeah, did they manipulate it in Ripple's favor to come right back down to drag some liquidity? You better freaking believe it. But there's still the possibility of a setup here. We've talked about it for a few days that this can happen. That's why when I came on, I said, just because I don't have my hat on doesn't mean it can't break up here today. It's just, I didn't feel like wearing my hat today. Possible small reversal here. But we're going to need some steam. We still haven't come up for a C wave, but this head and shoulders has played pretty much down. It basically reset in that small head and shoulders. Now, we have to see if we did the same thing again. Now we have to see if we did the same thing. And what I mean by that is, could we have went shoulder, head. That's not what I wanted. What the hell happened there? Could this be a shoulder, head, shoulder? Like left shoulder again? Not there. Right here. How did I screw that up so bad? But could that be a shoulder, head, shoulder there again? And I really screwed that up. Look at. Could this be a left shoulder again? And then a right shoulder. This is what we have to invalidate. This kind of a thesis right now. We just had a thesis similar that we couldn't invalidate. So it's the urgency. We don't want to break down into another one of these. Otherwise, then we're going to have to come right back down here at 314. 13 minutes till China. Yep. Absolutely. There could be something brewing here. Could definitely be something. But see how we advance. Like I said, if it's within your range and you want to take a shot, look at algo. See if it can get above this resistance and take that shot up like we talked yesterday and try to finish this off possibly. Right around that 995. Possibly even higher. Long term, do I think this is going to change anything? Probably not. But short term, these are those pushes that we can make. We're going to have March 3rd in 2 days. So, and the significance of the date of March 3rd is the FTX and Celsius and other things that have conveniently all crashed, ironically, on that same day, March 3rd, in past years. So, horse year is bad for Bitcoin. Year of the horse. I love you guys too, Frankie Fresh and Janine and all of you that are in here. I really do. I do have to go. I acknowledge I have to go. I got to go take care of some sick ones. So Be blessed, everybody. Dad's going to do his dad duty, and I'm going to make sure everything else is going good in my house. And then I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Be back tomorrow morning. Scarlett's going to be home from school, so we'll have an extra kiddo in the house. T seems to be doing good right now. Michaela just got back a little while ago to Western, as she's in the honors program out there. 2 more months left for her first year to end, so at least she got back safe. And I'm glad we're able to do this again. 1970 legend, thank you so much, my fellow Buckeye, or my resident Buckeye down south. I'm not a Buckeye, but I'm a Wolverine. We're on the same team. We're on the same team. See you all later, friends. Have a blessed evening, and, try to push the power of positivity. Keep your mind open to opportunity, but also don't put yourself into a position here that bottom line is, don't take bill money to try to make a bunch of money and risk right now. I want to be a Buckeye. I often wondered what it would be like to flip. Haven't you ever wondered? Probably not. But wouldn't it be interesting to take a step in each other's shoes one day? Because we're very unrealistic fan bases, the both of ours. We're very unrealistic fan bases. Because it's either a national title or bust. We don't even care about the Big Ten championships anymore. We never really have. It's always been national title or bust. We can't even enjoy it. Even if we beat each other, it doesn't matter if the other team wins the title in the new era. I'll give Julie your love, Frankie Fresh. She's just finishing up T's milk. That's why I want to go in there and help her. So be blessed, everybody, and thank you all so much.